So it's not really a decision, right? He has to go. Hey everyone, welcome to Prince of the Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we're here with episode 17 of Frieren. And this is going to be my last reaction to the series for a little bit. For those who hadn't heard from my previous reactions, I am going to be taking a break here because this is the end of the current arc. And we are going to be coming back for the last set of episodes in the future. The reason for this is one of those shows I really want to take it slow with. Frieren is one of those shows that I don't want to rush. And I mean, mind you, I don't like to rush shows in the first place. I hate binging, for example. Here's an example for you. Ironheart just came out, the new MCU show. It launched the first 3 of its 6 episodes in one go, and it's gonna release the last 3 in one go, which is, I think, incredibly stupid and just hurts the overall stayability of the series. But not going to get into it here. The point is, there's 3 episodes released. I've still only watched 1. It came out like a couple days back, and I've still only watched the first one. And I don't really plan to like rush through this. I might not even watch the second one until like next week. But I'll see how it goes. And then like Squid Game, the final season of that just came out today. And I'm probably going to go through that as slowly as possible too. But Frieren is one of those shows that I really don't want to rush through either. Because while I just don't like binging as it is, there's some shows that I especially want to take my time on. Because there's some shows that I feel like are best experienced at a slow pace that allows you to think about them, that allows you to like process them. Like Frieren is 28 episodes long for this season, right? And we've already done one set, and then we came back to it later for this current second set of episodes that we've been reacting to. And so I think taking another break here, allowing me to like kind of refresh myself and get ready for the last set of episodes, I think is going to be the right move. Because again, this series is something I want to slowly experience. It's something that I feel like is going to enhance the overall enjoyment of it. I just think that's the best way to experience this series specifically. So we're going to take the break, and then we'll come back for the last bit in the future. I don't know exactly when, just whenever I end up getting to it. But for now, we do have this last episode to get to, and where we left off, our boy was kind of realizing he was going to have to leave the group. Because he has found out that his friend went to this city to the east. And that's completely out of the way in the opposite direction of where they're going. So he seems like conflicted at the end of last episode. It's like, well, what am I going to do? It's like, dude, go. There's no question here. You literally came on this journey to find information about, and maybe even just generally find your friend. It's like, there's no question about what to do here. Your only reasonable choice is to leave the party. Like, as much as, like, yeah, you're starting to bond with the others here, and as much as, like, we as fans enjoy him as a character, it's like, he needs to go. It would make no sense for his character to not. But I'm very curious to see exactly, like, how we fill out an entire episode with this, or if he's going to like leave during the first half of the episode. We're going to do like a split episode, as we do a lot in this series, and then the second half's going to like focus on like the last leg of the journey to the city they're heading towards. that's a possibility. But yeah, this is not really a choice, in my opinion. There's not really any like argument as to what he's gonna do. Uh, I'm excited to see like how we close this off for now, like what we do to like end off this arc. So let's get into it and hope for the best. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, the first half of this definitely focused on Sign like I was expecting. The second half I thought was going to be more the journey to Aushurst, but instead we had like this little side story with Fern getting sick and Frieren taking care of her like a good mother. Just really cute, really precious. A lot of great discussions and really hammered in, like I said in the reaction, the relationship that Frieren and Fern have. Like, obviously, Frieren was comparing it to Himmel doing the same for her when she was sick, but you can also very much see the relationship they have in this episode. It's very much a mother-daughter relationship. Like, even at the end there, she's like, I'm not a kid anymore, and she's like, I know you aren't. Like, just really nicely, and it's like, that is the most motherly thing ever. I don't know why I keep, like, hammering in this idea, too, like, in various episodes and reactions, because it's like, I don't feel it's an unpopular opinion or anything. I feel like this is just how it's supposed to be seen. So I don't know why it's like I'm almost trying to defend the idea, as if I'm trying to, like, defend some kind of unpopular opinion about a show. Because that's clearly not what this is. But either way, so yeah, we see Sign leave at the end of the first half after they have to spend one more month together due to the weather. And he, like, really realizes how much he's enjoyed, like, adventuring with this party, and that it's going to be quiet on his own, but he knows what he needs to do. This was always his goal. And he's probably very happy that he did get one more month with them there, that he was able to, like, spend that little bit of extra time before leaving. It probably helped prepare him a lot more, and that's why they had such an easy parting, why there wasn't, like, all this big pomp and circumstance behind it, because he had been more prepared then. Because remember, at the end of last episode and the very beginning of this one, it showed he was actually kind of upset about this. He didn't want to leave them, because he had grown attached. But he knew that he had to. He knew that that was his goal, and that's what he really wanted. That's the reason he came out. So, although he didn't want to, he knew he had to, but he was upset about it. Spending that last month together allowed him to, like, become more prepared for the parting. And so when they left their separate ways, it really allowed them to just be at peace with it. And I think that was, like, a really cool thing to showcase. And again, the second part of this episode focuses on just this little side thing. Fern gets sick because of the cold as they're traveling through the northern lands. It's just a simple cold. They end up finding refuge with this nice lady and her cows. And Stark and Frieren go on a journey to find this icicle cherry tree to get the last bits of ingredients that they need for a remedy. It's a really simple segment to this episode, but again, it's like really made cute and like just this precious um character growth segment. You know what I'm trying to say, because of like showcasing like Fern and her relationship a little more, and like even seeing that she wants to kind of do this towards Stark as well, showing that she's starting to see him in the same way. And we kind of like even delve into the fact that she does see them kind of as kids still, like even Sign, because of how much older she is. She's over 1,000 years old, so to her it is kind of like that, and she has to kind of grow accustomed to the fact that people aren't like that. That Fern and Stark are adults now, and that Sign is an adult too, of course. Though obviously she came like to realize that sooner than Fern and Stark, but that's I think because also she hasn't known him for as long, and she hasn't had this motherly bond with him like she has with Fern and more recently Stark. So it definitely, she views them differently because of that. Um, yeah, it's just it's really nice to see like Stark's leaving be handled so well, because it's like I was kind of worried about that, because I did want him to stay, because I felt like, oh cool, new party member, like I want to see that continue to be a thing. But also it made sense. He had to leave. He found out that where his friend had gone, and it was in the opposite direction. He had to leave the party. And so it made sense, and to see how just well done and like peacefully his leaving ended up being because of this last month he went through was just really nice. And the mother child bond we focused on with Frieren and her kids in the second segment was also just like really wholesome and cute. And it also just really shows Frieren's development, how different she is from the beginning of the series. Excuse me. Because it shows like how much she's connecting with people in a way that she never did before. The fact that she very clearly sees them as her kids is like something like beginning of series Frieren would never see them as, would never like imagine they would be. So it's really cool to see that growth, that character development, which is always just something I love anyway, but still. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think this was a really nice, happy episode to end off on. And next, when we come back for our final run through for this season, we will be getting to the city of Aushurst. So, the city of magic is upon us, and that's pretty exciting in and of itself. Now, we did have the new opening this episode, which is really weird because this episode was still like closing out this arc. And this isn't the only series that has done this. JoJo Part 5 and I think Part 6 as well had really weird stop and start times for its intros. Because it didn't align with how the arcs of the series was going. And it was like really weird because of that. But this was just like, you really could have just waited one more episode. It's like it really didn't make sense to have the opening in this episode. And like I said, I'm not a fan of the new opening. Like, Frieren's first opening was very unique and interesting. I wasn't like the biggest fan of it personally, but I acknowledge that it was very like fresh, and it felt like something like that was directly like connected to this series, because it's like I haven't heard an opening quite like that. But this new opening is so generic. It's such a generic ass anime opening, the likes of which, in terms of music and visuals, you've seen and heard everywhere. Nothing about it stands out. Nothing about it feels like, oh, this is a Frieren opening. You know how like there's some anime out there where it's like, oh, this is a One Piece opening. It feels very One Piece. An opening like this would not work for any other series quite as well, right? This doesn't have that vibe to it. The first opening did, but this is just like feels like any other opening. If you had played this opening to me without context, I could never have told you what this was from. I would have probably guessed some random romantic comedy anime. That's how generic it sounds. It's kind of disappointing. The first opening, it's like I would probably have told you it would be even if I couldn't tell you it was specifically Frieren, I would have told you it was like, oh, this is a fantasy anime opening. It feels like it is. It feels like it's an opening for something that is like that, like story rich and heavy and whatnot. And this is a very story rich, story heavy series. I would have been able to get at least that much. Even if I, again, couldn't tell you that it was specifically Frieren. But the point is, it very much has vibes that I haven't heard with any other series, with any other opening. So that's what I want to hear. I tend to be a lot more particular about anime openings than most people. Like, there's a lot of, I would say most people out there are probably fine with this opening, or probably like, there's a lot of openings out there that I think sound super generic and boring. Like, what is it called? Peace Sign, I think is the name, from My Hero Academia. Or I think there's also one called Sign from Naruto. And both of those, I just find completely boring, completely disinteresting. Because they sound super generic. They sound like they could belong to anything. And both of those shows have openings that are really unique and really stand out and really feel like they're just for those shows. My Hero has a multitude of them that are really good. And Naruto has a bunch of them too, whether original Naruto or Shippuden. It's like, I know these shows can do well, but and then it's like some of those are like the most popular, weirdly enough. And that's the thing. It's like, I feel like a lot of people are a lot more forgiving towards that stuff than I am. I want an opening to be unique and interesting. I don't want it to sound like any other opening. And that's why those openings I specifically mentioned are like my least favorite of their respective anime, pretty much. Because they just sound so bland to me. Like, think about some of the openings I really love. The first opening to Dororo, the first opening to Undead Unluck. These are openings that are super unique and interesting. They're openings that have, like, a different sound to them than practically anything else. And that's why I love them so much, because they stand out. Hell, even if you want something a little more, I guess, unusual, like one that's not talked about like in the like top tier opening kind of discussion too often, either of the Nichijou openings. Nichijou's openings are fantastic. They fit the vibe and tone of the series so well. And it's just like, this opening does not fit the tone of this series, in my opinion. The second opening for Frieren really just does not fit. So, yeah, when we do come back to this, I'm probably just going to end up skipping it every time. Which, mind you, I was doing for the first opening too, but I'm definitely going to do it for this one. That being said... Oh, another... speaking of other good openings, just recent ones... that I've watched through, Zenshu and Lazarus. Both had really good anime openings, too. But I think it's time we talk about what is going to replace Frieren in this slot on Fridays. So there's been a couple things I've been thinking of, and there's one show that I kind of want to get back to because um the first or not the first, what am I talking about? The second season. Or no, it's not the second season, it's the second series. Cuz there's multiple seasons for each of them. Just ended up coming out semi recently and doing very well. And with the character like set to I believe appear in other projects in this franchise, I feel like it's probably about time I get back to this one, especially because it's super well received, and I did really like the first episode. And that is Daredevil, the Marvel series Daredevil with Charlie Cox. We are going to be getting back into that starting next week. I'm definitely interested to see more of this because I did like the first episode, and I don't know exactly how long the season is, but we'll address that maybe next week when we get to this. I'm just excited to see more of this. I want to get to it because Daredevil Born Again had come out the season one for that and did really well, and I really want to get more into this and see more of what it's like and about. It's been a while since we did the first impression to that, and so I think it's a good time for this. I think we're at the right time to get back to it. So yeah, that is going to come next week. We're going to get right into episode 2. I'll probably just look up a synopsis to remind myself of what happened in episode 1. Or maybe I'll end up finding a reaction to watch. That could help too. But either way, tell me your thoughts on this episode of Frieren. We will be back with Frieren. It's not being dropped. It's just being put on hold for now. We will be back with it more in the future for the last set of episodes for this season. And apparently there is going to be a second season in January, I think. So we'll eventually get to that too. But yeah. In the meantime, just like I said, tell me your thoughts. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.